My full name's Francis Anan Kwasi Jirako. Of course, Francis, when you talk about Francis, when you are baptized, you are given that name. Jirako is what my father said I should take, so I took that one. But Anan Kwasi, Anan means fourth born boy, and Kwasi is a Sunday born boy. Why? Because in Ghana, where I come from, where I was born and bred, you are identified by your position in the family and the day you were born. Especially some specific regions in the country have to use that so that they will know whether you are the elder brother or the younger brother or the last born or the fourth born. So Anan means four. Kofi means Friday born boy. Kofi is Friday. And Anan may be his father's position in the family. That's why it was Kofi Annan. But I'm also a telecoms engineer, trained in the Soviet Union, and then it changed over to Russia. And we spent only a few years, about 6 years there in the cold. But thank God he brought us to the warmth again. I enjoy technology a lot. And at times, my wife begins to tell me, can we just go and do something else? And I say, when you climb the tower, I don't know what you are doing there. But I think, as just been said, I'm also the father to the 5 children. The firstborn is a boy. He's also an engineer, but he decided to go and work on his own, so he's on his own. The second one is a medical doctor. She's based in Norway with her husband. The fourth one is a medical engineer. She is working with us for now as she looks around for her occupation. The fourth one, who is Irina, she was doing aeronautics. She's here to complete. And then the last one, who is Sveta, she did, for her first degree, she did biology and music. She's very good at music. Now she has taken arts, and we don't know where it came from. We said, well, okay, that's great. So she has finished her first degree. She has been invited by the university to go back and go and do her PhD. So she'll be leaving very soon for the same. So that's who I am.
A girl from Samburu, becoming an engineer, going to study in the Soviet Union. It's quite a story. Pastor Otabel, who is our pastor when we go to Ghana, says that you run as fast as what is chasing you. So when we say that from Northern Frontier District we are disadvantaged, we really are. And so we do what we can to turn the tables. We do what we can to make our lot better. We know that nobody is there for us. I mean, from the day you really are conscious of yourself, you know that I'm on my own. It's me and maybe my family and maybe my siblings, but we don't know how long all of us will be together, so we are all such survivors. When I was still very young, my father was hardly home. He used to travel a lot. He's a prospector, mining. So he would go for months. We wouldn't see him even sometimes for 2 years, and then he would come home. So we had a mother who was so resilient. This lady was bringing up 9 children. I come from a family of 9. All of the 9 of us are alive, believe it or not. But I think we give glory to God, and we thank God for a mother who said, I am going to do this. So this lady would really say to us, there is nothing I can give you except education. So work hard. Education is the one that will get you out of this place where we are into another place. When we come from Samburu, we used to say we are coming from Kenya B to Kenya A. So she would be like, for you to get to Kenya A, which for us, Kenya A was from Nyahururu, from where the tarmac starts. You can imagine now it's 55 years of independence or beyond. We still don't have tarmac that has reached us from Nairobi. But it's headed there. We are waiting. It's almost there. So anyway, when I was less than 10 years old, one time my mom traveled and I was left to be the one taking care of the house. I had 3 other kids under me. The older kids were in boarding schools, so I was like the elder. My sister, who is a bit ahead of me, was the one who was the oldest, then me, and then the 3 kids. I'd be taking care of them, feed them, then leave them outside and say, this is your bottle and this is your bottle. When the baby is hungry, give her. This is like a 2-year-old and this other one is like a few months old. And I'm like, I'm going to school, I'll be back after lunch. So I would run like crazy, arrive in class, then run back at lunchtime to check them, go back. I think I was in class 4 then. So you can imagine from that young age. From that young age, I was very interested in engineering. I would take people's watches and take them apart. I mean, the greatest technology that time was a watch, a wristwatch. So I would take it apart and put it back together and would be so excited to see it work. I continued that until even the neighbors, my cousins, who would be like, this watch is not working, can you look at it? At that young age, I didn't have a screwdriver or anything. I would take a wire and beat the edge of it until it's flat, so it becomes my screwdriver. Then I would fold this other part and use it. I remember taking apart our radio. It was the only radio we had, like in that neighborhood. When it was time for news, people would gather at our veranda to listen to news. And then I would take it apart, and my mom would be like, if we don't hear news today, you will see. So I had to put it together before news time. One time I couldn't fit some parts together, so I left it open, but they could still hear news until after news, and then I would put it back together and then go on. I would do things like, I learned things like if I put the batteries in the sun, the life of the battery would lengthen. I even learned if I put the battery inside salt water, those dead batteries would revive. So you see, engineering was in me very early. I didn't know it was engineering. I thought it was just survival skills, stretching what we have. But I do know that I love to do things with my hand, whatever it is. And I still do now. Now when I'm a manager, an owner of a company, I get stressed when I don't have anything to repair. The other day I was telling my kids, this working with people and dealing with human beings, employees, I'm tired. Then my daughters told me, Mom, we have an iron box that is broken. Do you want to look at it? Because they know that gives me energy and that brings life to me. So how did I ever end up going even to school? Okay, we were Catholics when we were growing up because that was the only church that was really in that interior place. So the Catholic Church used to sponsor us. But they would, when you pass, like in class 7, the only place they would take you is another Catholic institution. So when I finished class 7, I was called to Alliance Girls. And all of us looked at each other. My mom thought, Alliance Girls, how are you going to get there? I don't know how to take you there. Where will we get money? But the father in the Catholic says, oh, she can go to St. Teresa's, which is in Wamba, which is in the same district, Samburu district. And everyone else is going there anyway. My 2 sisters were there, my friends from school were there. I was like, why not? Let's go. But when I was doing my exams, I remember there was a man called John Osogo from Jomo Kenyatta Foundation. He came to Samburu for some, either Madaraka Day, I don't remember, and we went to sing. And he gave a promise and said, the best girl and the best boy in the district, Jomo Kenyatta Foundation will pay for their fees for 4 years, their tuition fees, whatever school you will be called. I was like, that will be me. I am going to get that school fees because my mom cannot afford. And I was actually the best. I was not just the best girl, I was the best in the district. The next person after me was way there. But I was aiming at that scholarship. So now I have a scholarship, but I have a free scholarship fully paid to go to a Catholic school, but I want to go to Alliance. But I don't have anything else. I don't have the uniform, whatever else it takes, the transport, I don't have, so I can't go. So I just told my mom, let's just give up on that. So mom said, okay, let's go to Wamba, let's go to St. Teresa's. So I went there. One afternoon in Form 1, we were running around 4. Running around to go and fetch water and water the plants and all. I see a Land Rover and government, AP Land Rovers, driving into the school. And okay, we were in a place where there was always shifters. There was war going on. Sometimes in the night we would be sleeping and then we hear gunshots and we knew what to do. When you hear gunshots, get off your bed, go under the bed. Until after the gunshots, then you go back to sleep. So we were like, but have shifters hidden in our school? Why are APs coming here? So I'm staring, of course, a very curious one. I'm staring, and then I see my dad get out of the car. I'm like, what? What would dad be doing here? And so I just go about my business now, but I'm very alert. Then I'm called to the headmistress's office, and I go. Of course, it was a nun. Then I'm told, oh, you're being picked, you're being taken to Alliance. What? Yeah. When I didn't report to Alliance, the headmistress thought I'd been given off to be married off, because of course I was a Samburu girl. So now they've sent around, and yet they've sent around for me. The provincial education officer has been tasked to find me. The district education officer has been tasked to find me. They've looked for my dad. They've found him in Nairobi. They've carried him all the way to come and bring the daughter he has given in marriage. And he's like, I didn't give any daughter in marriage. I don't even know where she is. My dad, who was not even there, didn't even know that I had finished my exams, that I had passed, that I had been called to Allah. All those things were news for him. So anyway, he's brought. And he comes and picks his daughter. So my older sister is told, pack for her quickly. So he packed for me, get into this Land Rover, drive back with my dad. Now it's getting late, so we have to spend the night in Maralal. So we go back home. My mom, of course, was very happy to see me. She packs a few things for me. Very early the next morning, we are driving past Nakuru. We come to report to the provincial education officer that, yeah, we are on our way to school. Come to the Jogo house, report that, yeah, we found the girl, she is on her way to school, and finally I arrive in Alliance. I have left Wamba. Wamba is a hot place. I arrive in Kikuyu. I am shivering like crazy. I'm like, huku ni wapi? I can't survive here. Where is this? And then I find all the girls are peeping down out of the windows, saying, there she is, there is a Samburu girl. In the admission letter, they had written, for the first time in the history of the school, we are admitting a Samburu girl. So everyone came to that school expecting to see a Samburu girl, and she never arrived. Now, halfway through the semester, here comes the Samburu girl. So, of course, I'm like, hey, how am I going to survive here? My dad finished his business, turned and left. So me, I'm left there with the headmistress. They start to brief me and all that. Everywhere I went in that school, I'm crossing the grass. Everyone is like, there she is, there she is. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have a tail. I don't have feathers for hair. I'm just a girl like you. Why are you all looking at me? And they're like, my goodness, and she's so courageous. Listen to her. But I had to be to survive all that. Just to even survive in this environment, which I didn't know. I'd left all my friends and family, and here was I in this place. So anyway, I went through Alliance. I was there for 6 years. After Alliance, I didn't do very well in my Form 6. I did amazing in Form 4. I had a Division 1 and what. Then I wanted to go to Kenya Poly, where my brother was, to do industrial chemistry, because that's where my brother was doing. Remember, I've now forgotten I wanted to be an engineer. I didn't make it to Kenya Poly. I didn't make it to the university. After some time, the university called me and gave me an option to do, they were calling it BSc. And I was like, what's that? This is a science degree that has no portfolio. I don't want that.
I want engineering.
I want engineering, yes. So I didn't take it. Then Kenya Post and Telecoms, after about 8 months, advertised that they were going to take engineer trainees. They will train you, then they will employ you. I'm like, that's me, I'm going for it. I went and I did the interview. There were like over 1,000 of us. Very few girls, but we were there. So we did the interview, and after about a month or so, I got a letter that had been taken. So I reported, and I go into this class. There are 25 of us. I'm the only lady. All the rest are men. I was like, okay, so engineering is not quite a ladies' field. This is the time now I discover this. I'm like, I thought everywhere it was equal opportunity. Kumbe, we are so few. So we do that engineering course. After 3 years, I finish, get employed. Believe it or not, throughout that engineering course, I led the class. I was always way above the class because I was doing what I loved. For me, it was so easy. The only time they beat me is when we were doing metal work. We had to make something. We were given a raw piece of metal. You cut it up, you shape it into either an opener, a knife, or such what. So of course that was physical work. I made an opener. I never opened anything, but I did make an opener. It was this thick. So I finished and I started working with Kenya Post and Telecoms as a radio engineer. Radio was kind of the top of that time in the class. We were only 5 of us who were selected to do radio. As I was doing radio, I was posted to Nakuru. We were managing even the president's circuits. We were the ones doing in Moi's farm, in Kabarak, wherever. We were always all over the place, and then we would go to wherever they needed to be communication, we would be there. Baragoi, Kapedo, we traveled Kenya. I mean, like the Rift Valley, we knew it. Then I saw an advert in the newspaper. UNESCO was giving 8 women from all over the world a scholarship to Russia to do a telecommunications degree. I was like, this one, I am in. What does it take? At that point, I don't even know where Russia is. Nobody has given me the memo that Russia is colder than the Kikuyu. I was freezing and swelling.